For me, when I heard that transfer addiction, it made a lot of sense because I looked at my own life and I looked at the addictions I had gone through, and it didn't necessarily have to be drugs. Okay, we're all addicted to something along the way. At least I was. I have an addictive personality. Once you come to terms that you have an addictive fucking personality, you go, I gotta do something about it. I realized I had an addictive personality when I was 44 years old. It was a bit too late, you know what I'm saying? That's when I broke it down backwards. Once I was 44, and I go, I got an addictive fucking personality, this is what the fucking thing is, you know. Once you try to get clean, the first couple days of you getting clean are so important for you to journal. Those fucking days, you should just be journaling all day. You know, maybe journaling about how you started getting high, just to relieve the pain of you, you know, coming off the fucking shit, you know. For me, the journaling, when I first got sober, that first month, that's all I did. I remember I was shooting a movie, and I even brought a notebook and a pad with me to bring on the fucking set because I would get cravings, and I would try to give myself excuses. And I don't know, one way or another it stuck, and I just stayed sober. But I still remember thinking about the AA model. Sorry about that. The water went down the wrong tube. It went down the pubic hair tube. You know what I'm saying? You have that little pubic hair fucking catch on your neck. That's been a long time. I don't even need that catch no more. I'm not an animal like I used to be. But when I thought about my sobriety, I remember thinking that, fuck, I'm not going to be funny if I don't get high no more. Because there were a couple comics that fucking stopped getting high, and then they weren't funny because they took it too seriously. They took the whole sobriety thing a little bit too seriously, which you have to take. You have to take seriously if you want to live. People know when they're goners. Me, I knew I was a goner either day. When you do a line of coke and you get an electronic twitch in your fucking neck, when your neck starts twitching, you know it's just a matter of time before your brain blows up. You have an aneurysm, when you have a stroke, or whatever the fuck happens when you do coke. So for me, between the 400 pounds, the 4 packs of cigarettes, the eating like an animal, and the electrical twitches going on, the firework display I had going off in my spine, I figured it was time to fucking quit. But I knew that if I didn't do something else, I knew that word, transfer of addiction. I knew if I didn't do anything else, that I would end up snorting coke again. And I still remember like 3 or 4 days, like I stopped snorting coke like on an off day, like a Tuesday or Wednesday. But the true test was going to be that first weekend of not getting high. And I remembered that I was sticking to the AA prototype, which is no reefer either. You can smoke cigarettes and drink all the coffee you want till your fucking tongue turns fucking blue. But there's no fucking reefer. So I remember the first 3 days or 4 days I was working on this movie, and I was so caught up that there was really no reefer in my life at all. You know, I would come home, and in those days I got a friend of mine to give me some sleeping pill he had. He was a neighbor 3 doors down. I didn't care about the sleep apnea or anything. The fucking, the coming off the coke at 8 o'clock would give me huge panic attacks. Because by 8 o'clock, I wanted it in my pocket. I didn't want to do it. I wanted it in my pocket by 8 o'clock. So by 7:45 at night, my anxiety would start fucking percolating. So those days, I would just come home, and I think a neighbor had Valiums. A little black dude in my building had Valiums. And I traded him something for Valiums. And, you know, by that time, I wasn't eating Valiums, so I knew a half a Valium would knock me the fuck out. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. The first 2 weeks of me coming home from that movie at night, I would basically eat dinner, take a shower. I would say the minimal amount of words to my wife because I didn't want the craving thoughts to get into my head. I would pop a fucking Valium and drink an amaretto and milk. How much of a pussy of a drink is that? But amaretto fucks me up because I don't drink. And I would just fucking soothe out and go to bed. So I'm thinking to myself, Jesus Christ, Joey, you're trying to get fucking sober and you're still using alcohol and, you know, a sleeping pill, which is illegal, to get fucking sober. Something didn't sound right there. But I started thinking about it. What put me in prison? Cocaine. What made me become a fucking thief? Like, listen, I'm a thief. It's in your fucking DNA. But thievery, who made me go all out and be a scumbag thief? Cocaine. Who made me change the way I thought? Change my, there was a time period when I didn't think I could have a good time at night unless I did coke. Can you imagine that? When I was 19, I was already dead in my mind. If I didn't have coke, I didn't think I would have a good time. People would say to me, do you want to go to this party? You going to have coke? No, I'm not going to that party. It's not going to be fun. So when your train of thought is that way, you're never going to get out of that. I mean, that was since day one, that was my whole thing, I didn't use the coke to get on stage. I used the coke for after I got off stage to fucking get high and have a good... At least I had that control. I had that much fucking control. But I'd never forget that first weekend that I was sober. Ralphie picked me up. And we're in the fucking car and, I didn't want to tell Ralphie I quit doing coke. When I do things like that, I usually don't tell people about them in case I fail, so I don't look like a fucking idiot, It's like when I first joined jiu-jitsu, I didn't tell anybody I was joining because I felt like a fucking... If you quit, then you're a failure. So when I first started not doing coke, I didn't say anything to anybody. I just kept it to myself like the first maybe 30 days. I think sometime in December. I remember that's when I fucking realized I was sober for 30 days. I might as well not do it again. It's been the first time I was sober for 30 days off cocaine in fucking years. I mean, the only time I was ever sober from cocaine was August of 88 to February of 88. 6 months from fucking October of 79 to November of 88, I said, of 2007. That's a lot of fucking years of getting high. People say that they lose their sense of smell when they get COVID. I'm surprised I still have a fucking sense of smell from not numbing all the fucking things that make you smell stuff in your nose. I'm really surprised.